What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with Three Dudes.
The late night edition.
Late night.
Because
It's episode 78.
Yeah,
78 it is.
yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Eddie had a soccer game today. He was subbing in for one of the boys
One
and
of the
his
kids.
One of the
and the
kids,
kids team.
I'm tired.
Fuck.
Would you play forward or
No, they had me as goalie.
as goalie?
Mhm.
Yeah,
They used him as the ball.
Yeah.
That's jacked up, son.
Fuck.
Damn.
So
Boy.
today, we're drinking Desert Durum. Let's not drop our bottle here.
Oh, my fault.
It's like,
Yeah.
this thing's wobbly. I didn't notice it was that wobbly before.
Anybody got a matchbook?
Here, hold on.
A little
there we
shimmy.
Eh,
We're gonna. There we go.
Let's see.
Oh.
No, that's not gonna work.
That's not gonna work.
Drop
Hold
the
on.
bullet.
It might work. It might work.
We gotta put it somewhere else.
No.
Or it's gonna-
Well, we're not. We're gonna drink it for fuck's sake.
This is true, but we don't want to drop it in the meantime.
No. Let's drop the infinity bottle. That's close enough.
That's good enough.
I don't want. Yeah.
Fuck it.
So I picked up this bottle in Arizona. Last time I was in Tucson, which was I think November. So we've had this bottle for a while. It's a small bottle.
So 375, not the typical.
No, 750.
750. Yeah.
Usually the typical yeah. So it's a smaller bottle. It's actually pretty good. I was kind of upset at first because it's a small bottle and the price. I was like, I don't know, but it is what it is.
All right. So read the back of the bottle here. Let's see what that says. So it's from Arizona Distilling Company. We'll read the front, I guess. It's Desert Durum wheat whiskey, aged in oak, less than 2 years. That's why it is a wheat whiskey and not a bourbon.
Because remember, it has to be aged 2 years.
Yep.
To be a bourbon.
And in New York barrels, and they can't fuck with it. So known for its pioneering spirit, it's no wonder the Arizona Distilling Company is making history by bringing you the first ever Arizona grain to bottle whiskey. Our product has received high praise for its unique balance of sweet and spicy. It does have both.
Yes, it does.
Where molasses, pecan pie, caramel, and black mission figs tame the noticeable bite of peppercorn, allspice, and cinnamon. Thanks to its special flavors, Desert Durum whiskey stands out when served neat or on the rocks, and gives classics like a Manhattan an added depth. We're sure the adventurer will appreciate. Okay, sorry, I totally fucked that up, but whatever.
It's all good. I can definitely picture this in a Manhattan.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It definitely has the. I mean, to me, you can. There definitely is some rye in there. I don't know what their mash bill is. I don't know if we looked that up. I don't know if it's even available.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find reviews on this online.
Yeah, but
The awards it did win. In 2014, got the silver medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, the silver at the Great American Distillers Festival.
Nice.
And Jim Murray's Whiskey Bible gave it a 89.5 rating. Let me see if I can find the mash bill. I'm gonna try to search the interwebs here.
The
see what I
mash
can
bill?
find. Yeah, whiskey mash bill. Let's see what comes up.
and I'm also drinking a Corona because why not?
Because it's Friday.
We still have some. I think there's like a couple more in there. And
Is there? I'm probably going to get
There's some
another
more than
21,
No,
24.
can't find the mash bill on here.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some rye in there. It's not a lot, but it's in there.
It's pretty good, though, because it's, I don't know.
It is a bit different.
Yeah, it's totally different than anything I've tasted.
The only thing, and it's at 46% by volume, so that's a 92 proof. I honestly would like to taste this in a cask strength. I think that would make it even more interesting.
You think so?
I think there definitely be more concentrated flavors. Bring out some of the more underlying notes in here.
I added a drop of water in here earlier. No me gustó with the
No.
drop of water. No.
And before we get too far into it, we should discuss that Eddie's birthday's coming up.
It is.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Yeah.
big 40, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's viejo, güey.
I know. I need a cane.
So it's not because it was your birthday. It's because I saw this and I thought it was fucking cool. So I got it for you. So this one's for you. And since I was getting shirts for...
Oh, yeah.
Here, I got this one
dude,
for you.
thanks, man.
This thing's awesome,
Show the camera, bro.
dude. Fuck yeah.
That's why he was asking your shirt size.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get this afterwards?
I mean, I guess we have to, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank
Hold
you.
Dig it. I dig it. That's
I
funny.
figured you would. I saw it and I was like, it's punny.
I love puns.
Yep.
I love it. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome. That
Yeah,
shirt
I
is
saw that
awesome.
shit and I was like, oh, Eddie would like this. He needs this shirt.
Nah, that's gonna be my going to eat noodles shirt.
Yep. Yep.
Where are you going? Gonna go eat some noodles.
This is my noodle shirt. I go eat noodles in.
Yeah. And I have one too, but it's like,
Oh, you do have the.
yeah, it's like a bowl of ramen with a bunch of cats in it.
That's
So,
right.
I would change to my shirt right now, but I think we might get blocked.
yeah, probably. Maybe don't do that.
I am not wearing my pasties.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's
Well,
not.
So you guys,
yeah.
Let's not get banned.
No, that would not be good.
Too young for that,
Yeah.
so you guys heard about the F-16 that crashed?
dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the pilot ejected and it crashed into a warehouse and nobody was injured.
Thank God.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
thing.
So
Those bombs didn't go off. Well, they.
I don't know if they had bombs. I know they mentioned they had some munitions on board, but they didn't say what. So they like kind of
They don't
cleared the area. I think it probably just
precaution.
had actual like ammo for the cannons, if anything, but probably not bombs. I don't know.
I don't know.
Even if it did, I mean, those are armed, before they're, when they're fired, or right before they're fired. So,
Yeah.
but still, it is pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It created a nightmare for everybody.
Traffic
over there.
wise, right?
Dude, yeah, everybody had to take the streets. And then I was like, man, I had like calls that way, and I was like,
Nope.
I was like,
Not going.
I'm not going. I was like,
Nah.
dude, next week I'll go.
Everything was
Like,
gridlocked.
Yeah,
from what I
I'm not
heard.
going that way.
215 was closed.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they understood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, was it yesterday? Yesterday, I had a hard time getting to work. It took me like almost 2 hours to get to Anaheim Hills.
I don't know
Damn.
what it's been with the freaking 15. Has been crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
I caught a bunch of traffic on the way to work the past couple of days,
Yeah.
and for nothing. Like it's just
Yeah,
literally
see.
like.
Did they finish that Limonite bridge?
I don't think so.
I
No.
think it's still closed.
Yeah.
But
No.
there was a truck on fire. I think a semi truck or something was on fire yesterday. I think it was 2 days ago. But yeah, it took me 2 hours. I had to go through the canyon, in Chino.
Yeah.
That canyon. It's a nice drive, but it took me like over 2 hours to get to
Because
work.
everybody else was going through there.
Yeah.
Everybody else. It's a nice drive when it's actually moving.
It was kind of cool though. Like that's part of Chino I've never seen before. Really. There's-
Through the backside of it?
Yeah.
No.
So there's like a lot of like hiking trails and parks and stuff like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
It was pretty cool.
Oh.
So I try to make the best of it.
See, that's one thing I miss that I used to do a lot. Just go and drive and just, get lost. and
It's
stuff
too
like that.
expensive these days.
Yeah, that's true. The way gas prices is right now.
I know. It's fucking crazy, man.
One of my guys at work, he's like, man, that plane crash, gas prices went up.
What the fuck?
I was like, okay.
They've actually gone down.
And yeah.
It has actually,
Uh-huh.
even though it's not as down as I want it to be. But
Well, yeah. I mean, I forget what thread I saw, but like somebody had posted gas prices, and people were like, "Oh, I filled up at $2.79." I was like, "Yeah, fuck you."
I looked at the gas pump. I was like, "Fool, you ain't down."
Yeah, it was like it's funny because it shoots up like 50 cents overnight, but then when it's coming down, it's like a penny, two
Right.
Yeah.
pennies.
Right.
Or that how you went when you had to put your phone number and they'll give you 2 cents back.
No, I don't think. Well,
I think AMPM is doing it.
Well, they should do it because they're fucking bullshit. So this whole fucking thing about like usually they're cheaper than everybody else, but then they do that bullshit where they make you pay 35 cents if you're using a debit card.
Yeah.
There's a way around that. If you actually, I think if you go to some of the grocery stores, they sell gas cards for Arco. And if you buy it from them, then you save, I guess, they don't
Yeah,
charge you to
35
use their-
cents.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
still bullshit though. I mean,
You could just pay cash too.
I mean, you could, but who
Yeah, but
carries
who-
cash
yeah.
these days?
I mean, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not as convenient, and it's just one of those things that it kind of pisses me off about them because they're like, yeah, you're 2 cents, you're 5 cents cheaper than everybody else, or whatever. But then once you add the 35 cents, like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And then you can always go to Costco, but the lines are always long.
Yeah, there's a Sam's Club gas station by my work, and that's mostly why I have a Sam's Club membership is because of that gas station. It still gets crowded a little bit, but it's not as bad as Costco. The only Costco that I know that doesn't get as crowded is the one off of I'm not gonna say because
Oh,
Dan's
yeah.
gonna say
no, the one off of the new one they built in Eastvale.
Oh yeah.
Because that has a bunch of fucking pumps.
Yeah.
Like, it has a lot. So
Little pump.
yeah.
But
Little bump.
but we got to cut back on gas because I don't know if you heard, but AOC was joking about the 12 years, right?
Well, yeah, she
Oh,
said
yeah.
apparently she walked that back.
guys
She said like,
misunderstood
"Oh,
me.
I was joking.
It
You
was
guys are."
dry
It's
humor.
like, no, dude. Like you said that more than once, and you were very serious. Like,
Yeah,
you
All
know,
of a sudden.
it's our World War II.
yeah, it's,
She got called out on it. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess false alarm. Maybe the world isn't ending in 12 years, but
Get out of the bottle. Sorry.
this one,
Yeah.
or this one.
Or that one. Or this one.
He's talking
That
about
was smaller.
He wants some of your Corona.
Yeah, this.
Nah,
Yeah.
I had enough last week.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, last
Dude,
week.
that yeah,
Dude,
like,
I don't
for
know
somebody,
what happened.
Look, for somebody, and I think this is why we went ham on fucking buying Rise, because for somebody who doesn't care, said that he doesn't really care for Rise, you were hitting that one pretty hard.
Oh my
I woke up. I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
Dude, he texts me. He's like, bro, was I being annoying? Because all I remember is my after my coworkers left. Like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Nah, it was everybody was here. I was like, yeah, it's a little too much. Plus, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
So,
Nah, but it was good
but yeah,
times,
look at
good
that
times.
bottle of Pikesville, dude. It's like it's probably got like a
Fuck.
quarter of the bottle left in there.
Were we gonna add some of that?
Should I think we should? It is delicious.
It is
Yeah,
good.
it was good.
We're gonna add some of that, and I think before the podcast started, we had decided we're gonna add some of this to the
Yeah.
Infinity bottle too.
Yeah, we should add that because it is interesting. I mean, maybe not all 2 ounces because then maybe the rest of the bottle will be gone.
Yeah.
There's
It's
not a whole lot
unfortunate,
in there.
it's a small.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a small bottle.
Yeah.
Small.
Small.
You know what? Pass me the Pikes. We'll add it right now before we try it.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that's because yeah, I was like, yeah, we need to try this because we haven't tried this in quite a long time.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we tried it.
Oh, it's been a while. It has been a while. So we'll add this on camera because why not?
life.
Oh man. Oh, that smells delicious.
Chemistry.
The only thing I'm worried about is because summer's coming, so I don't know how the damn bottle's gonna take it.
Dude, remember there was like 2 or 3 of them that like
that
popped
popped.
the freaking cork out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was like, oh shit.
This should be fine.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try that few one.
1
The
ounce?
pancake one.
1 ounce or 2 ounces?
Let's do the 2.
Fuck it. 2 ounces.
Let's do the 2.
Full send.
I mean, when's the next time I'm gonna pick up a bottle of that? Right.
That's true. Oh.
Full send. Ooh.
There we go.
Yummy.
That's pretty good.
You know the other one that I saw, and I was watching. There's a series of videos that I watched. It's like experts where they try to guess the more expensive one, and they like blind
Yeah.
taste test stuff.
Yeah.
And they gave they finally did a whiskey episode, so I was like, oh, this is interesting. And of course, she pretty much guessed them all pretty much had them all right.
Yeah.
There was one. Well, they did Japanese whiskey, they did Irish whiskey, they did bourbon, Scotch, and they did all of them, and they did rye too. And then I was like, the Japanese whiskey, I guess right away, like you can tell that it was Toki. Like one of them was Toki for sure. Like it's very obvious.
What's the color?
Like the color was a
Yeah.
dead giveaway. Like her description of it was a dead giveaway. It was a dead giveaway. Like they don't say brands or they don't say like, but they just put like a little price tag by it.
Oh, okay.
But I knew it was Toki. I don't know what the other one was though. But for the Rise, one of them it was expensive. It was close to $200. I was like, what fucking rye is like $200? And I actually saw because I was looking at rice today, and I saw Peerless, and I've seen that bottle around, and I'm like, oh shit, like I should probably pick that up. And I looked at the price tag. I'm like, what the fuck, $120?
Wow.
for a rye, I was like, maybe I'll look into that one because it sounds interesting. But
Not
I don't know
for
about
that much.
$120 for a bottle of rye. Typically, rye is a little bit more affordable on the more affordable side.
I mean, Pikesville wasn't that much, right?
It's close to. I think it was. It's the. I mean, it's typically. I think it was like right around $50,
Mm-hmm.
which
Which
is
is
typical.
Mm.
I mean, it's up there for ryes,
yeah.
This is like paying for
but
two
like,
bottles for one. pretty much.
well, I mean, because it's like right at the lower level. Like, I think you can get Whistle Pig, like their lower level bottles for around 47.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's right around there. Um, but I mean, man, Pikesville is fucking delicious.
You think if we waste that much money on a bottle, say we get a bottle for like $200 or $300 just to get it, and we like it, that's kind of like, whoa.
Well, I think like Rhetoric. I think we liked the Rhetoric 25. I think or 21. I think it was
Oh,
Rhetoric
that's right,
21.
yeah.
That one was like about 200.
That's right. The one we did the tasting, right?
Mm-hmm. That one was really good.
That one
I
was
don't
good.
know. I think I can. I think you can find them for probably like around 150.
Really? Oh, even better then.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I don't know if it was around 200. I know I something tells me they're less than 200,
Mm.
but right around there.
Okay. Well, if they are less
but
than 200, good.
but that is one that definitely for us was worth it.
Price tag wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For a bourbon, it was. I mean, probably the best bourbon we tasted that day, and we tasted, Pappy 15 and
Yeah.
the 21,
Mhm.
and
I like in the beginning, they didn't even take our tickets for the first 3 tastings that we did.
no, they did not.
And I was like,
I'm
awesome.
I'm okay with that. Oh, speaking of which, I saw the other rise. What the fuck? Sagmore.
Oh, huh.
They had them at Total Wine. I saw them
okay.
today. They had all 3 of them.
Oh, nice.
All the ones we tried, but I couldn't remember if we. I mean, we thought they were okay, but I don't know that we were like, yes, we definitely have to
That
get
was
these.
on-
No,
yeah.
they were interesting. I know
They were interesting. It wasn't anything. I mean, they were blown away by Pikesville, because Pikesville we were like, we have to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sagmore we were just like, they were good, but it wasn't on the same level as Pikesville.
No, I think I think what the thing with Sagamore was kind of gimmicky, a little too gimmicky. It was like, oh, this is like aged in port wine.
Yeah, they did
barrels
that.
and-
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it was. They
Mhm.
had the port wine. They had some other like blend, and like they
Yeah.
had the standard one.
right,
And the standard one was kind of like just okay.
right. And I think the port wine one was the one that was like, okay, you gotta like the guy was pushing that one the most. Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
That's
He's
what-
like,
yeah.
this is our
bread and butter, or whatever. It was.
yeah, but it was like, well, why? Like we
Yeah.
tried it and it wasn't as impressive
As he was saying.
as the Pikesville. And I saw, because I was looking at the rise. I saw the Jack Daniels one, but they had Jack Daniels single barrel rye, and I was like, oh, that might be interesting. Maybe that's something we try if we like the other one, just the regular one, which
Yeah.
I don't know. So I did pick these up because I if we do this, I think these will be handy to have.
Some more surprises. What is it?
What's
Nuts. It's nuts. Crab House nuts.
Yep.
That's a game nuts.
Gourmet Virginia peanuts with Chesapeake Bay seasoning.
Those sounded good. They had those, and they had like
Huh.
some spicy or like some hot. It sounded good, but I was like, spicy is probably not a good idea.
Uh-huh.
They had some other ones that was like a spicy honey mustard blend, and I was like, those sound good, but I don't know. So the reason why I got those is because like maybe it would be good to try like eat some between both of them. I don't know.
To
We're
like
just-
clean the palate.
yeah. Just kind of as a buffer.
I see.
So we'll keep these here. This seasoning typically is pretty good. So
Let's try to hide them, because I know if we drink a little too much, we'll probably look for them and eat them all.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll go through it pretty
that's
quick.
that is very possible. That is a very strong
So
possibility.
my brothers and I, we went to a Dodgers game recently, and then afterwards we hit up the town because like we hardly get to hang out, like all 4 of us.
Mhm.
And your dad went with you guys, right?
No, my dad didn't.
Oh,
go,
no?
No. I was like, let's hang out in LA. Let's go to 7 Grand, which is 7 Grand, which is a whiskey bar. They have one in LA, and then they have one in San Diego as well. and I ordered a Sazerac with a Pikesville, and it was delicious with the Pikesville.
Yeah, because it's higher proof than like some of the
Wow, nice.
than most other ryes. Like I think that's probably I you know we should probably, and I thought about this, but um I think we have enough. Well, I was thinking of making old fashions with Pikesville.
Hmm.
But I
see
don't know
if
if
we
we
have
have enough.
enough.
Maybe
No.
for the next bottle.
Yeah, probably
Um,
next bottle.
Yeah,
We won't have.
We
enough
haven't
of
done that in a while too. Where we make
Little-
like
yeah, it's
mixed
been a
drinks
while.
here.
It's been a
the
while.
cocktails. And then after $7 we were trying to go to this like popular bar, I guess you can call it, or club. I don't know if it's a club or bar or whatever, but it's called the Perch. It's a rooftop bar
Oh, I heard
in
about it.
LA.
Yeah.
But the line was long. And then I had remembered of this other place I've been wanting to check out. It's a jazz club called Mrs. Fish,
Mm-hmm.
and it's underground, and they have like an aquarium in there, and they have live jazz band playing there.
Oh, that sounds pretty
And,
cool.
Yeah, so my brothers and I, we went there, had a few drinks, had some sushi and food, and it was great. The atmosphere was great. Prices were reasonable. The band was awesome.
Yeah, that is one thing. I mean, man, I don't get out to LA very often.
Yeah,
I don't particularly care for it, but it's been a while since I've been out there
yeah.
There's some good
to
spots.
actually go
Yeah.
around and do things.
They have some interesting spots in there.
No, yeah, they definitely do. It's been a while since I've actually like
Yeah,
had the time to do it.
I hardly like going to LA because of the traffic and it's
Oh, yeah.
crowded. But we went out there for a Dodger game, and then
Yeah, I mean, if you're already out there,
yeah, so might as well just paint the
Make the
town
most of
red.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
So I did see, and I sent it to you guys. I was interested in it, but then I saw
Uh-huh.
that like, for some reason, because it was kind of a surprise to run across it. Was the Smooth Ambler Old Scout, the but it was their single barrel select,
Mm.
bottled it, and it's cask strength at 52.5%, aged 13 years.
Yeah,
But apparently it might not be very good because it looks like there was somebody that had some on the bourbon secondary market, and I looked it up just
Yeah.
to get an idea. I was like, oh, there was actually 2 bottles left.
Okay.
Somebody, it looked like somebody hid one or whatever. I was like, oh, maybe this is worth picking up because
Uh-huh.
sometimes you can resell them for more than what you paid for them
Right.
because it's crazy like that. And it looks like the MGP one people were paying more for
Mhm.
than the one that they actually distilled.
really.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not that good. So that's why I moved on. That's why I was like, oh,
God.
well,
You didn't-
yeah.
yeah.
Like that's why I didn't immediately pick it up because I was like, oh, that's kind of an indicator to me that like
Yeah.
maybe they didn't really care for it.
So when I posted that picture of the bottles we picked up today, I didn't realize they were all Ryes.
Oh, yeah.
No. So,
No, we went ham on rice. So that's why like
Yeah, 'cause
it's
I-
good
Oh,
though.
that's right, 'cause of redemption.
It's good though because honestly, like we haven't really focused too much on rye, and I think we
No,
should.
We've been doing a lot of bourbons.
Yeah, I think. Well, and that's the thing is, I looked at we got to discuss, and maybe we won't do it here, but we got to discuss like which way we want to go in terms of tasting, like getting into Scotch, because we have to. It's I mean,
inevitable.
We've tried a couple, and
Some have
they've
been pretty good.
Singleton was good.
Yeah.
I like Singleton. It was good. Maybe we revisit Belvani.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first ones. we
That
tried.
was one of the first ones, and that was like kind of when I started drinking whiskey, and I don't know that I necessarily like had enough experience to see if I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
I apparently, I mean, I don't know what happened to that bottle. So
I
it
don't-
must
yeah,
have
I
been
don't
good.
know.
I don't know where it went.
I don't know where it went either.
Yeah.
Did we?
Not here.
No.
No, the bottle's not even here. So I don't know. I don't know if it got finished somewhere along the way, but it's not
It
here.
had to have.
I think it's
Disappeared.
in. I think it's in the
Is it in your cabinet?
maybe. I haven't looked in there in like a while. It's been
Oh,
a
it
while.
probably is, dude.
Maybe
Probably
it's in
is in
there. Maybe it's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
Maybe it's
check later.
collecting dust.
Maybe.
it'll be good to revisit it. Why
Oh,
not?
you know what? It is in there.
Yeah.
It is. It's in the
Damn.
box.
What's in the box?
What's in the open the box?
Yeah. Yeah, we need to revisit that, I think.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. I believe that's a space side though. I was thinking about picking up Bruichladdich.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I saw
but
Ardberg. Is it?
there's something going on with Ardberg. I don't know what it is,
Uh-huh.
but I saw some posts about it on some pages. Like, I don't know. There's something going on. Not necessarily. I don't know if it's positive. I don't know if it's negative. I don't know if it's meme worthy. Seems like it is, but I'm not in the know. And I've been meaning to look into it, but there's just too much going on. And,
Like as far as what? Like what are they saying?
I don't know. Like people have kind of like posted and like kind of like alluded to there's something going on, like something that should be funny, but I haven't looked into it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Man, I'm looking over there and I'm like, man, that bottle of Las Vegas Distillery.
That's a wheat whiskey.
Yeah, we need to make it out there. I think
was
that
good.
I think that I mean it's close enough to where we should be able to make it out there, and I don't know if they've updated their website or what. It used to be that they had classes, you know. It'd be something cool to like, because I think that like they would even do like experimental barrels and stuff like that. So and the guy seemed cool. So I don't know. Seems like it would be interesting. There's another distillery, but they're in Modesto. And I saw that there was a whiskey, but they were in the American whiskey section, which I was like, well, it's kind of weird. But it was called, what was it called? Let me see. And Jen just landed. She was in Chicago, and she was flying back, and apparently she's at LAX now. So.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
Let's see.
Yeah, I picked up the Redemption Rye. It was on sale. We tried it at the Whiskey Wonderland.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was pretty good.
Whoa. Okay, that's weird. So it was called the Do Good Distillery, and then I looked it up, and it's permanently closed. So maybe I should pick up a bottle, because maybe. Well, I don't know.
No,
maybe it's not that good.
It probably isn't. And then also, it's not like I'm sure they'd build up a big name enough to like try to resell that bottle. Like, well, you can always sell it and be like, hey, this is a rare bottle.
Yeah, but
doesn't exist anymore.
People nowadays are just going online and check eBay or something like that and just match pricing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. We gotta find some distillery at least locally to see.
Isn't there one in Redlands?
Redlands.
That's what we talked
San
about.
Diego.
There you go. I'm gonna go check that out. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go check that out. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be worth checking out.
Different.
Yeah, for sure.
So so what's up with this whole Trump and China trade war thing? I know people were like mad about it and stuff like that, and the whole tariff thing, and because one of my friends had texted me asking me like, hey, what's going on with like the whole stock market? Like, why is everyone freaking out? Like, oh look, like it's going down. Like that's good.
Yeah,
but
things went on sale for about a day. Hold on a second.
But the news always like tries to like it's always gloom and doom, like, oh, the stock market's going down and we gonna die and this is not right. But
the end of the world.
I mean that's just what the market does. Every morning it opens up early in the morning, and then it closes at midday. It closes like at 12 here in the West Coast, and that's what it does every morning. It just fluctuates between that time period.
Yeah, it depends who's buying and selling and stuff like that.
Yeah, it went up and then it went down and then it went back up. I don't know if it fully recovered, but for about a day or so, stuff was on sale. So I mean,
hell yes.
I mean, it's a weird thing, right? Like in order to, I mean, I don't know. I don't keep up with that stuff. I mean, because I know that long term, like it's still like if you zoom out, like 30, 40 years, it's all in an uptrend. I mean, stuff long term is, you know, and of course you get people, oh, you know, I lost all this money on my 401k. I was like, yeah, but have you been keeping an eye on it like all the time? Like, do you notice when it recovers? Like,
well, it's really only a loss if you pull your money out.
Exactly. You don't lose money until you sell. Like if you sell that day, then you lost money.
It's a
Instead of just leaving it
game.
there and see.
It depends on how many stocks you have.
I feel like the damn gas is like fucking stock. But
Well, I
the
mean,
thing
yeah,
is,
oil,
the difference is
oil is a commodity that
that's
is traded
true.
on the market.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It
it
is.
would be.
I just remember when, well, like how gas prices been since I remember. So I remember when it was $1 and something cents, it went to like 1.99. Then it came back down and it only went down to like 1.80. Then it went up again to two something,
Yeah, it's an upward
2.25.
trend for sure. That's
And then
definitely an upward trend.
$2. And then up again $3. Like motherfuckers. I was like, these fools are fuck.
And people were freaking out about $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Now we're paying like almost.
I mean, it was cool for like. I mean, it was cool for a bit where it was under $3 for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But now we have all these
got
new
spoiled.
new taxes and stuff, and it's funny because I was apparently, and I meant to look into this, but I really didn't so much. But it appears that Gavin Newsom is going to be pretty upset at not only not getting over $900 million from the federal government for the high speed rail, which I mean, it makes sense. We had talked about this before, right? Where we were like, look, if the money was granted for a certain project and you're not going to complete the project, he said it wasn't going to complete it. And even in that same speech, he was like, I'm not interested in giving this money back to the Trump administration. It's like, it's not his money. It's our money. It's the federal government's money. But apparently they wrote a letter to him saying like, yeah, about the rest of that money, you're not getting that. And by the way, we're going to try to recover, whatever money we did give you because you didn't complete the project as it was agreed to. So you got the money for the project from LA to San Francisco, not Modesto to fucking Bakersfield,
which is in the middle of nowhere pretty much.
Yeah. So
that rail's not.
I mean, I agree with that. It's not, I mean, just on the basis of, look, this is money from the federal government for a certain project. If you choose not to complete that project, again, we discussed that, like, look, if I buy an empty lot and then I request a loan for building a mansion and I'm given that loan, and then I tell the bank after I get the money, it's like, well, I'm not going to build a mansion. I'm really just going to put a shed out here. And thanks for the money, guys. Like,
peace out.
I'll keep the rest.
Yeah, I don't think they would be very happy with that.
That's not how it works, right?
No, it does not work that way.
It's like when your parents give you $20 to go buy something, you keep the change.
Yeah, which never happens.
And then you spend it on something else.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's $20. Go buy a gallon of milk, and then you come back with a pack of gum and no change.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Well, the change up. Hey, stock markets.
Hey,
I know.
Yeah.
Gum went up.
Inflation.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to give this money back to Trump, so no, it's not Trump's money, it's my money. What the fuck? Jeez.
Oh, did you see Ben Shapiro took a fat L on that BBC show?
I was watching, like, I haven't watched the interview itself. But I was watching a Steven Crowder thing where he was a guest and they discussed it. And I mean,
but before we get more into it, those Steven Crowder openings are hilarious. The Top Gun.
Oh, dude, that shit was
skit.
fucking awesome.
Oh my gosh, have you seen the other ones? Like the ones he does, like Pablo Escobar.
Yeah,
and like
yeah. I
pretty
saw
genius stuff. But yeah, I saw that one actually today.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I just said that he took a big fat L because people are calling him out, like, oh, look, like he's an imposter.
He only debates college
yeah,
students.
he debates college students. It's one L. Like he called himself out. Like look, I didn't follow my own rules. I fucked up and this and that, right? And,
yeah. Well,
and
it was one. He was going on there for an interview about a book, and it turned out to be something else.
But
so,
that's what that guy's known for, though. That interviewer dude.
And apparently, he didn't know who he was talking to. So
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. It's interesting. It's interesting enough to where I'll still look it up to see what actually happened.
Yeah.
But it happens. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like you get into enough of these discussions, and he walked away. I mean, I think he walked away for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
He walked away because it was a conversation that was going nowhere. From what he described. I mean, I don't know. Again, I haven't watched it. But I mean, why would he lie about that? So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. No, but
Uh,
it was pretty. I just thought it was funny. Just all the shit that everyone was talking like on Twitter and stuff about Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
like,
I mean,
all
it
right.
happens. It happens with everybody, right? Everybody
It's like, who doesn't take an L? It's like, all right, so Michael Jordan takes an L, like he misses a shot. Like, oh, see, he's a fraud.
yeah. See, he's not a basketball player. Like,
He's not the greatest of all time.
no, actually, yeah, he does play basketball. Like, that's what he does. But I was watching it mostly to catch up on some of the discussion on
Yeah.
the Alabama and Georgia, which with Georgia we mentioned briefly before.
Yeah, we did. Which was a heartbeat.
Which I'm
bill.
okay with.
Mm.
I think again I've mentioned this before, and I'm still kind of like, again, because of the way that politics is going these days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can't really choose a middle ground. Almost, it seems like you
There's-
have to either be like fuck all of it, or I'm 100% for it. Like
Go
there's
big or
no
go
there's
home.
no middle
Yeah.
ground. So I'm okay with the heartbeat bill just based on basic logic,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I definitely understand that it's a very nuanced subject.
Mhm.
There's a lot going on there. And I think generally the public at large sees it the same way that I do, where it's like, look, it's something that I don't particularly agree with, but it should be available in certain circumstances. Now, the problem is that, again, like I mentioned, we can't agree to a middle ground. We can't agree to compromises
No.
No.
because that's not what's being
I
asked.
think what was started off was a whole bill that was passed in New York, right? The late term abortion
Right.
thing, and then
Oh, yeah.
and so now this whole Georgia thing, and then now this whole Alabama thing, and I think I just actually got a notification not too long ago today about Missouri just passed a bill banning abortions at 8 weeks, about an hour ago.
Yeah.
8 weeks of pregnancy. Yeah.
So, and it's funny because it's referred to so often um, as a right, as a constitutional right,
Which is not.
um, in a very roundabout way. If we want to um, look at the determination that was made in Roe versus Wade, which, by the way,
Was
there
also
was men involved there.
8
So,
white men that decided that.
oh, but they're not supposed to be able to tell.
Men should not make laws about women's bodies.
Clap back.
But that was
Roe
okay.
versus Wade.
We'll move on from that. But it's definitely not a constitutional right.
Mhm.
And even if it was,
Mm.
let's look at a constitutional right that's enumerated. One of my favorites that I'm very familiar with is the Second Amendment. States have various, I mean, it's very clear. It's very clear in what it is. I'm of the opinion that every gun law is an infringement. And I'd really like to discuss that with somebody that, believes that it's not, and actually discuss it in person.
Yeah, just having discussions online.
It's not,
no,
it's
it's
not,
not
because
productive.
everybody reverts to talking points. It's like, look, like if we look at what it says, it's very clear in what it says.
Mhm.
But that's actually an enumerated right, and yet still, the laws across the country are varied,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's state by state.
States regulate it in various ways. I mean,
Arizona, you can open carry anywhere.
and
Yeah, in
to the
Texas too, I think.
and not only by state, but by city,
Mm.
because there's New York is a great example.
Mhm.
There's New York City, which the only time you can have a firearm outside of your home
Yeah.
is if you're transporting it to go to a firing range. That's the only time. Whereas we look at Arizona, we look at Nevada,
Mm-hmm.
they're open carry states.
Yeah, you can carry it to your mailbox.
Yeah. And the Constitution is very clear very clear on what the Second Amendment actually is. And yet, again, it's very heavily regulated
Mhm.
by various states in various different ways, right? If you have a concealed carry permit in one state,
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily
You
mean
could use it on another.
that you can use it in other states.
Mhm.
Some states will recognize it, but others
Hmm.
will not. And you have to get into this whole thing of like there's specific websites that will even tell you, like, look, if you have one for this, like click on the state that you have one with. Oh, is it a resident or non-resident? Because some states do that. They will give you a non-resident concealed carry permit. And is it is there reciprocity here between there? Here's the thing is, I mean, again, it's regulated by states. So why is something like abortion, like,
Mhm.
why should that not be regulated, right? um Somebody brought up, and in the Crowder episode they brought up a good point, right?
Yeah.
And the argument is, oh well, and it's always this argument, it's always this, what about in the case
You get raped?
of rape and incest?
Which is a small percentage.
Okay.
I heard
of
that
the
today when I was on.
cases.
So let's take that logic.
Okay.
What if we allowed abortions only in those situations?
Which, back in the day before Roe versus Wade, to my understanding, that's what it was before, right? It was during, I think it was for in rape cases, incest, and I think life-threatening situations.
Right.
Roe v. Wade just made it to where it's like pretty much any time, it's a woman's right to get them anytime they want. Interesting thing about Roe v. Wade, the woman that's the subject of that thing,
Yeah.
she never ended up getting one because of course it didn't pass in time. But then later on, she ended up becoming a pro-life advocate
Right.
for
Yeah.
the rest of her life. She like regretted that whole thing even happened.
Right. And that's the thing is again, it's the same approach, right? Which is one I understand. I can't fault them for saying, I can't fault the people saying that the pro-choice, that they're like, oh well, no, you shouldn't tell me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching a video where Kamala Harris was like, oh well, can you tell me legislation that regulates a man's body and this and that, like, alluding to abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because she actually reposted that from the Kavanaugh interview.
Yeah.
And I mean, right away I was like, well, selective service.
Roxanne said we'd have some women talking about it.
I agree.
Since it's a woman's body.
Yeah.
But men can be women, right? So it's interesting. It's one of those things that it's like, again, a point that was brought up in the Crowder thing, which is something that I had thought of all along, is like, the argument is, and I've seen a lot of these posts, like I saw UFC fighters posting this, and I've seen other people post this, is just the words, men should not make laws about women's bodies or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the law that is being made is 1,000% not about the woman's body. The laws that are being made are about the other life that you're trying to end.
Right, because the other body inside that woman's body is not the woman's body, even though they argue it is a woman's body. If that's a fact, then science needs to be rewritten to where it says that a woman has one heart, two arms, two legs, one head, or as a pregnant woman actually has two hearts, two heads, four arms, four legs. That's the anatomy. That's her whole body. Because, I mean...
But what if there's twins? What if there's triplets?
Well, then there you go. She has four heads and, because it's her body. But it's not... The body inside is not their body. Like, it's
no,
a totally
it's
different entity.
It's a different life.
With different DNA.
And especially, like, okay, Like, and the extreme goes like, oh well, and it's always the argument of like, oh well, what about early on? It's just a clump of cells. We're all clumps of cells, all of us. That's all we are.
Well, it's funny because I mean, if let's say scientists find a single cell organism on a different planet.
There's life on Mars.
Right, exactly. There's that argument. And yeah, you shouldn't get into an argument. It should be a discussion. You know, it's easy for anybody to say the body is not.
Again, it's not. I recognize. We started this discussion by saying that I recognize it's a very nuanced argument.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. That there's more to it. I find that the only ones who say, and I believe this, of course not. Well, that's probably by choice. Because they were able to make that choice, right? But man, there's so much like, and then there was a thing there was a comparison like, we should make vasectomies illegal, and it's like, no, you don't understand. Like no, it's not even close to being the same thing.
Ask any woman or mother. I mean, not all women are pro-choice.
I think the majority. I think I would be hard. It would be hard for me to believe that the majority of women are not like. I mean, it's a very sensitive subject, and I definitely understand that opinions vary. But it's again, in the political climate that we're in today, it's either all abortions all the time or none at all.
None at all.
Like, as soon as you say like, again, why don't we take the same approach that's taken with regulating guns, where it's like, well, no, we just agree with, like, why don't you just agree with common sense, like, waiting periods,
right?
Why shouldn't you have to have a psychological evaluation and then have a waiting period of 2 weeks, while there's some investigation or whatever?
Yeah. Federal background.
Yeah.
checks.
Have you ever had an abortion before? Like, nobody needs more than one abortion. So like, once you translate like the way that those infringements are placed upon like gun laws, like to like people, and the reason why, and it's not just because like, I like guns and I think they're cool, but I mean they are, but it's it's a matter of, again, that is a matter of safety. How I choose to protect myself, how I choose to protect the people that are under my care and my family, it is a choice like that does affect other lives, just other than mine. It's not one of those things that I expect to, have to use firearms in order to protect. No, and I hope I never do.
One hopes you never.
I hope I never do.
But it's nice to know that you have that option.
But if somebody wants to try to find out, they can fuck around and find out. But I hope that never happens. But it's one of those things that it's like, it's like a seatbelt, right? You hope you never need a seatbelt, but if you do need it, you'll be appreciative that you did have it. Nobody wants to get in a car accident. Nobody wants that, but it's nice to know you're driving a safe car, right? That's why we have, all this safety crash testing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's what it is, right? Like, you disagree with somebody, you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're my white privilege, which has been brought up, which I find comical. It's one of those things. It's like, no, hold on. Like, you say you want a conversation, you say you want a discussion, let's have it, right?
Yeah, but once there's a disagreement, it's no longer
right.
Like you're the asshole because you disagree.
So, I mean, again, I think if that were presented, if it were presented like, if you wanted to bring up that argument of rape and incest, what if that was the only time you can have one?
Or, of course, in cases where life is, in danger.
Of course, that's not even like, I mean, that's already included in these bills, in both the heartbeat bill and the Georgia one and the Alabama one. So that's not even a thing. Something that's also not a thing. And I saw a post of it that it was like, they're trying to make it so that women who get an abortion are felons. And guess what? Felons can't vote, so they're trying to take women's vote away.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like, wow, talk about a stretch.
quite the stretch.
I heard that
Like,
today,
first
yeah.
of all, the law says nothing about prosecution of the woman. The law states that the act of performing the abortion is one that is unlawful,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which they want to try to get the doctors on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That would be the doctors. It wouldn't be. I mean, it's just one of these things that it's like, there's so much misunderstanding, and
Yeah. So a lot of misinformation.
all this, we're in the middle of all this, and Alyssa Milano decides to call for a sex strike,
Mm-hmm.
which is terrifying.
Hey, I'm all for that sex strike, Alyssa. I mean, that's the best way to prevent
Right.
unwanted.
She didn't. She
Pregnancies.
didn't. Yeah, you really didn't think that one out, did you?
I don't
Like
think
when
she
you
did,
called that
man.
out, like, yeah, maybe like it's funny because it's like that whole thing, and then somebody, like, I saw a thread or like on another like Facebook group, but somebody was like, "Man, there's so many single mothers on Tinder," and it's like, dude, well, like, kind of like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Like, this is you're on Tinder. Like, what is that for? It's not an app to, like, for people that are trying to find, a relationship to settle down and create a family. Like, that's not what that's for.
No,
Like, you're, you know,
it's a
it's like
hookup.
going to, yeah.
That's what's wrong with the hookup
Yeah.
culture, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
that's the
know.
thing. It's like, okay, so there's the hookup culture,
Mhm.
but contraception has never been more available than it's been now,
Right.
right? So, but people are still choosing not to use it.
Which that cracks me up too about the how they're comparing it to Handmaid's Tale, or like no, Handmaid's Tale, those women are repeatedly being raped and their bodies are being used to breed against
Yeah.
their will. And most of the abortions that are being performed, like I said, the small percentage is unfortunately it's rape victims and incest victims. It's a small percentage. So to try to equate that to Handmaid's Tale, it's like nice try, but
Yeah, no. I mean, I never watched the show.
I read the book, I think in high school or one of those. It's a
Yeah.
pretty fucked up book, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I'm not familiar with it.
it's disturbing.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, man. It's like, again, I keep going back to it, but it's like, look, like, and again, it's just the problem is the current political climate,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Too extreme.
It's your and the biggest thing and the biggest thing that most people
Mhm.
on the left fail to realize is that most people are in the middle, of a lot of these actual issues,
Yeah.
right? And because they choose to take the extreme, because here's the thing is, at least from my perspective, on the conservative side, very few people are actually taking the extreme right view,
I
right?
think some of them are kind of speaking out against it, from what I've seen.
Right. So it's not like, I mean, yes, there are people that are, that are super far right.
Mhm.
There's people. I mean, I follow somebody who, went really really far right, and
Mhm.
his ideas are interesting, and I've kept up with him for a long time, and I understand why. But it seems more and more, at least the politicians are on the left, are pandering to somebody that's not there.
Mhm.
Like, when the numbers actually come out, and I think unfortunately that's going to be their undoing in the next election.
Oh, it already is their undoing.
I mean, yeah, it's already
They're
happened.
pandering to a very small demographic of their voting. Whatchamacallit.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's one of those things. It's like, once you actually start looking into it, like, the numbers are very small.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, the idea of socialism, on paper, sounds cool, and it's been tried many times, but
It failed them many times too.
but we haven't done it correct. Nobody's done it correctly. Nobody's done it the right way. So maybe that's a clue that it's a shitty idea.
Yeah.
It's failed that
How
many
many
times.
how many times have they attempted it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it ends in you can every time every example it's like you vote your
shitty.
way into it, but you have to shoot your way out of it.
Yep. There's no such thing as equality. There's equality of opportunity, but not equality of outcome.
Well, speaking of,
Mhm.
they actually announced that they're going to be awarding people adversity points on the SAT. Yeah.
So I heard it's a study first. I guess they're gonna try to collect data or whatnot. But I was actually kind of like, what this is stupid at first. But then I thought about it, I was like, okay, like I think this all stemmed from the whole controversy where people were paying for their kids to get into college.
Okay.
That's where it came from, right? And also, you got to keep in mind, also, there's certain students that where their parents can afford to pay for tutors,
Yeah.
or and there's certain students that have to work a job outside of school, don't have the time to study, just to try to help out in the household. And so from what I understand is that this is they're trying this out just to collect data, not so much
To actually make that the scores.
right, make that the scores. But
Okay.
it's to collect data to see how that is affecting, and then maybe go from there and see what can be done about that.
I mean, I guess, but again, that's more shooting towards equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity.
Right.
Right now we have equality of opportunity. Anybody can take the test.
Mm-hmm.
The results, however, may not be equal.
No. And also because of those assholes that paid for extra for
Well,
that's to boost their SAT scores or whatever.
Yeah, to have somebody take the test for them or change their scores or correct their scores.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Again, it's one of those things that, like, it's a very small minority. Are they taking up spots for people that could be there? Absolutely. 100%. How many of them?
Right.
And we're going to destroy how many other opportunities because we're making not enough opportunities. Like we're artificially bumping up other people's numbers.
Yeah.
That's going to be more that's going to be a bigger issue.
And it's going to be a bigger issue because, I mean, what if the doctor that's performing certain surgery on you,
he got extra adversity points, so
right?
That's scary.
And that is scary.
Yeah, you want I mean yeah, again the it's talked about negatively, it's a meritocracy. Like, yeah, life is a meritocracy. If you work hard and you do better, if you're if you're born, like, I can't play in the NBA, that's a meritocracy.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it. It's not something that I would be able to do. It's not something, I mean, just I can't do it.
I know your dreams of being a swimsuit model were crushed when you found out you had to be a certain height and certain weight.
Yeah,
I know you talked about that all the time, and you want to be a swimsuit model.
Unfortunately, it's not in the cards.
No.
Why shouldn't I get adversity points to be allowed to do that?
Well,
why not?
I mean, what would your adversity points? I mean, where they come from? Like,
do you get them in the mail, like with your white privilege card, or
I think probably. I think you lose points because of your white privilege card.
Oh,
fuck. Well, I haven't gotten it, so that's good.
You're pretty screwed, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I got you a swimsuit, dude.
I saw that.
Let me show you. You can sport it out because I know you've been wanting to be a swimsuit model for a while.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I was gonna wear it, but
there you go, dude. There you go. So,
bam.
Hold on a second. There you go.
Pretty badass
That thing
swimsuit
still
there.
cracks me up.
Yeah.
Got this for Rebecca. She loves it. Whenever she's out at the beach, you guys see her wearing the swimsuit, be like, "Oh,
yeah."
It's that angry guy. It's like, don't be staring that way, dude.
The back is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the back is pretty creepy.
No eyes.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, but I mean, I agree with what Brian's saying. Is like you're setting up kids that are not smart enough to fail at a school they should not
Mhm.
be in. I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
have like again, if it's like
Mhm.
if I get a call that it's like okay, you know,
Yeah.
we've pulled some strings, now you're in the NBA,
Yep.
and it's like, well, now what? I don't even.
I
I'm
know.
terrible at basketball.
Just be
I'm not tall enough. What am I supposed to do?
Be
Yeah.
that bench,
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
collect the
Like
check.
I
But they
mean,
won't do that.
And that's what the parents of the that whole college thing where they were paying their kids way. And
I
that's
mean,
what,
because
that's
their
what they were
kids,
doing.
some of those kids were pretty dumb. Like,
Yeah, they were just there. I mean, what's her face? Fucking Aunt Becky's daughter is like, I'm an influencer. I mean, this girl was making money just off of YouTube.
I mean, here, yeah,
She would admit, like, I don't even go to class. Like,
yeah. Like she fully admitted, oh, I just want to go for the college experience. You know,
right.
well, what is that? You
Just
know?
go to a resort, damn it.
Yeah.
Go to Cabo.
Look,
That's where
you're
you-
living
yeah.
off of your parents' money, and you have no responsibilities. Like your life is the college experience.
Yeah.
You know, your whole life is a college experience. Like, just, you know, why do you have to go? Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna meet new people. It's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna do that.
You can meet new people in Cabo.
Yeah,
Of
course.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go.
I mean, no matter where you go, you're gonna look down upon those people. So you know, I mean,
Touche.
because you're an influencer, so obviously you're better
Touche.
than them.
Touche. So man, that'd be interesting. You know how this conversation we're doing then if we do like the whole phone call how we were talking about earlier.
That'd be cool.
That-
Yeah, so
We're working on that.
we're trying to figure out a way to like maybe possibly contact us like on here. Like if Roxanne wanted to call in and maybe discuss this whole thing about the whole abortion thing. We're trying to figure out a way to like maybe she can like call in or Skype us, whether it be on video or just voice.
The voice part we have figured out.
Yeah,
but the
the voice
video,
part-
the
the video
video
part we
part we
don't.
haven't. I
That
think
that would be pretty cool.
yeah, I think that would help
Yeah.
out for people that maybe would want to come on here and have a
They
discussion
can't,
and hang
and-
out, and maybe they can't.
Yeah.
But that would be an alternative. But we'll figure it out. The audio part took me longer to find the actual cables than it did to actually think of a way to get that done.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it got done. So
yeah.
we'll test that out and we'll get that.
We're
pretty much
learning.
set up.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, that's an option that we didn't even think about until.
Yeah, I didn't get any adversity points for that, unfortunately, though. So
But that video I sent you guys, I mean that's what
that's what it is.
That's what it
Yeah,
reminded
that's
me of.
exactly what it is.
Sunshine One.
Yeah, Sunshine is going to the math
Sunshine
conference.
Yes, he's going to math conference.
Yeah, in San Francisco, was it?
Yeah.
Seemed appropriate.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh man, what else has been going on? I mean I've been trying to keep up with the
Mhm.
news, but it's like there's almost too much shit going on.
There's
where
a
it's
lot of
like-
shit going on.
I've been considering just kind of taking a couple weeks off of like Facebook and Instagram.
Just decompress.
It's like overload
Kinda.
sometimes though.
Yeah, it
Just
can
comes
get
out
like that.
shit.
Man.
It's too much to keep up with. I mean, I like listening to talk radio, but I've taken a break from that because that's typically how I keep up on a lot of my news and all the little tidbits that they'll throw out there, like I'll look into, and it takes me down the rabbit hole. But I've taken a break from that. Like I haven't listened to some of my podcasts. Like I've been watching totally unrelated, like other hobby videos.
Yeah.
And it's been cool. Like I've enjoyed it. But I'm still trying to. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe next week I'll take off from Facebook. I don't know. Trying to.
It's nice to take a break every once in a while.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have been like just completely just stopped everything.
Yeah, my wife's not on Facebook
Yeah.
or any social media, which I'm like, oh, okay.
And it's funny because sometimes I'll think about it. I'm like, man,
It works for me
I
though,
don't
because
really
sometimes I'll
even
post
see
some
it
bullshit, and
yeah.
it's like there were times where it's like I would post shit, and she would be like, it would kind of like bring up a discussion, and it's like, dude, like, do you not know that like I post dumb shit all the time, like and I mean nothing by it. Like most of the time, it's just whatever,
Well, stir the pot.
just to ruffle feathers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I wouldn't say that that's why she got off of it, but it's good music here.
it is good music.
Oh,
And it stopped.
Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I don't say meow. Bitch,
I fucks with Doja Cat.
yeah, that's a good song. Um, but yeah,
Bitch, I'm a
see,
cow.
if I wouldn't, you guys, I don't know if you guys would have known about that song if I
Yeah.
didn't send you the video.
I had heard it like
I haven't heard it until I saw it. I was like, wow, this thing's
a couple
funny.
years ago.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that. That's the first time I'd seen it. So,
Yeah.
It's like
you
that.
know, you
meow
miss
meow.
out on gems like that. You know, how else would we find out that Grumpy Cat died?
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah, it's terrible, terrible news.
She was 7 years old. I heard she's young.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot of medical issues with that
Mm.
cat. Like, apparently died of complications from urinary tract infection or something
Oh,
similar to that.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a common issue, unfortunately, for
Poor
cats. And I've actually done a little bit of research, and a lot of people. So, a lot of people, and it's a controversial thing because it's dry foods for cats are convenient, right?
Yeah.
Like you can keep them out, whatever. Some people will just free feed their cats. They'll just fill up a bowl and
And
leave
just
it.
let 'em eat
Yeah,
them.
and some cats will just eat a little bit and then till they're full and they'll go away and they'll leave it alone.
Mhm.
I have two now that literally would probably eat until they exploded if we left them there. Like we would just they would explode.
That's the same way our cat is. Otis, he just will eat all day if you let him.
Yeah. Yeah, like they'll try to eat shit that's not even edible. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
We have him on a diet.
yeah, but
Seafood?
he's on a seafood diet.
He sees food and eats
He
it.
eats it. But it's one of those things. It's like when you think about it, it's like, what is in dry foods? It's a lot of grains and
Chemical, yeah.
carbs. Like just if you break it down, it's carbs.
Well, wheat is bad for them too, right?
Um,
I don't know if wheat's bad for them.
I know that a lot of the alternative foods, because like some of them, like a lot of the cheaper ones, will have like corn as
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
like as a main ingredient, and even dog foods, right? So like when we had a dog when we got her, like we noticed she had like kind of like red like around her mouth, like it was kind of like red and irritated, and I was like, well, let's switch her to a different food, and where corn wasn't on there. And then her skin got a lot better, and she got,
Yeah, that's true.
that happens with
you
cats.
could really
too.
tell their coat, even with dogs, because I know with my dogs, I give them like a different kind of like a higher end food. Just
It makes a
it
huge
makes a
difference.
difference. It makes a
It makes a huge
difference.
difference. Even like shedding, like
Yeah,
the way that they're like,
Flaky skin.
yeah, like we switched our cats to wet food, and they've done good on it.
Yeah, we do
they're,
a mix
they're
of,
healthy.
of wet and dry. We do a little mix.
Yeah,
It's a little older.
With a little warm water in there, and then mix it around.
No.
Oh, that's back to Butch Goes days.
yeah. I remember that thing. That was
Yeah, we used to feed them in the morning.
yeah.
No
And
chicken,
donor
bro.
cats used to get a fuckload of food.
Yeah.
Like the donor cats and dogs.
Dude, donor cats were the shit.
They were awesome. Yeah, but
Oh.
if you go to a veterinary hospital and you see a cat or a dog that lives there, know that they're blood donors.
Yeah, they are.
That's not common knowledge, but they are.
They are there for blood. Yes.
Nah,
They're the sweetest cats though, and sweetest dogs that I've met.
yeah.
um,
Usually,
Usually they're
Yeah, they're all
really
just
awesome.
chill.
They are pretty chill.
yeah.
Crazy.
Well,
So-
fellas, I have nothing else to speak about. Oh wait, we forgot to try the infinity bottle.
We'll save it for next time. I don't really feel like drinking a whole lot right now.
Yeah.
Like I had this and I'm like, this is good. I don't know
Yeah.
if I want to, because we got started a little bit later.
We did get. Oh yeah, I forget. We did start late.
So that's why it feels like I'm like, oh, this is kind of short, but it's like, no, it's already gonna be midnight here in
Oh, it is.
about
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Crazy.
started a little bit later.
We did.
But
So I think we're gonna cut this short.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff to talk about. There was, I mean, I don't know. It always happens, right? Once we like get off and we'll start having a conversation
And
among
then we're
us.
like,
we'll-
oh, we should talk about
like
that.
fuck, I forgot to bring this up or whatever. But
Yeah.
whatever. We'll write it down. I that's the one thing that I was trying to do, and maybe if I'm taking a break, is like, if I'm taking a break, I'll try to write down other stuff. Maybe not necessarily what's going on in the news, but something else, some other stuff to bring up.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
The Durham was very enjoyable. I think
Mhm.
we
It was
definitely
I liked it.
yeah, I'm adding that because look, this is getting pretty full now. So we gotta start taking some of this out, somehow. You know,
Drinking.
we'll have to get
Yeah.
rid of it.
All right, guys.
Peace.
See you guys.
Bye.